Hey everybody, I'm Mike, and this is Mike Miller Talks Life. Typically on these videos, I'm taking a quote, a modern day quote or an old quote, and trying to talk about it to give life principles, how to live life, how to get through life. And today I want to do something a little bit different and just ask a question. Who are you going to cheat? I heard this in a talk and it kind of challenged me. And I just want to pass it on some ideas I got from what this guy was saying. Cheating is pretty common. It's kind of subverting the rules to gain an unfair advantage, deceiving, tricking. Basically, it's not earning what you get. And we see cheating in school, on homework, on tests, on papers that are due. We see cheating in sports. Teams or individuals are trying to do things to get an unfair advantage. Cheating goes on in gambling. Cheating happens at family game night. It can happen in relationships. It can happen on our taxes. Cheating involves avoiding responsibility by not giving someone what is due them, not following through with promises or commitments. We cheat to gain something, to win, to get ahead, to get away with or out of something. And we don't earn what we get. The question from the talk I heard was on relationships, but the cheating was not about being unfaithful in the strict idea of the word. It was about not giving the key people in our life the time they need. Cheating them out of what they need and actually have a right to. Have you ever felt like there's just not enough of you to go around? Have you gotten so busy that you're just working and trying to fulfill commitments and trying to deal with people, and the result is that the key people in your life are not getting what they need? This is cheating them out of what they need from you. So the question, who will you cheat today? Because you're cheating key people. I think to help with this, we need to determine our priorities, because we can't do everything. We can't be with everyone. So you need priorities. The priorities for almost all people are work, yourself, and your family. And your family involves your parents, your spouse, your children, your siblings. So when we look at work, if you're a working person, we owe our job time and effort, time and fulfilling the responsibilities we have at that job. And if we don't give them all the time they need, if we don't do what we're supposed to do, we're cheating them. And we're getting by with it for a while, and we're getting paid for not doing the job. We're not really earning it. For yourself, you owe yourself time. And this time is time to spend building yourself up, refreshing, refueling, and feeding your soul. And it could be physical, spiritual, hobbies, etc. And if we neglect ourselves, we will begin to run on empty and we will burn out. Family. We can have a traditional family of spouse and kids or some variation of that. You may also have parents who are still living or siblings that are around. And this is a key part of your life, and they can be a great source of fulfillment and strength and support. And then when you add to this, maybe you have a couple of friends. Well, in life, we can get pretty busy, and you end up not giving the time necessary for these priorities. You begin to feel stressed, and you try to spread yourself to cover all the bases. And when you're giving time in one area, you feel guilty because you're not giving enough time to some other area, and it's crazy. There's just not enough of you to go around. And when you start feeling like there's not enough of me to go around, I can't cover all these bases, it is time to regroup. Regrouping involves first clarifying or re-clarifying your priorities. Work, yourself, your family, a couple of friends. And then you need to think about how much time and what activities do each of these need from me. So my job, your job requires a certain amount of time. Usually it's pretty easy to calculate this. You work from 8 to 5 or whatever your schedule is. And so your job requires a certain amount of time, and your job requires that you do certain tasks, responsibilities. So it's pretty easy to figure that out. It gets really tricky when you have a job that's shift work or 12-hour shifts or whatever. I used to work with law enforcement, and their hours are crazy, and it makes it really hard to keep their priorities straight. So the job, how much time and what does it require? And then you look at your family. Your family needs this much time from you. And you need this much time for yourself to stay fresh, to stay fulfilled, to grow as a person. And to help you figure out how much time is necessary for yourself and for your family, you need to look at what needs to be done. So the issue is time doing what? So when you think about yourself, what do you need to refuel, refresh, and grow as a person? It could be time working out, going for a run. It could be time listening to music or playing an instrument. It could be time doing a hobby or two. If you're a person of faith, it's going to require time of prayer and reflection on a regular basis and going to church. So what do you need to keep you refueled and refreshed, feed your soul? And when you think about your family, how much time do they need? And you answer that by time doing what? What does your family need? And this kind of changes based on the age of the kids and all that. But what do they need from you? Time helping with homework, playing with the kids, helping them practice for their sport or some event that's coming up, going to activities that they're involved in, going out for fun. Your spouse needs time with you, doing things that she enjoys with you and you enjoy. She also needs, or your spouse, he or she needs time just to get away from the family and go do things they want to do, maybe with friends. This helps, by the way, your children when they see you prioritizing time with your spouse. It helps them see that marriage needs to be a priority because they're going to probably be married one day, and they learn about marriage by watching you and your spouse. So, time doing whatever it is. And sometimes it feels like there's never enough time. But when you start thinking that way, it could be because you're being driven by guilt. And because you can't be with somebody every waking minute. That's not realistic. I don't even think that's healthy. I think your children need time with you, but they also need to know that they need time alone, doing their thing. And you need time alone. And you can be in the same house, but not doing something together. And that's a good thing. So, time with yourself, time with your family, time at the job. It is a good thing at this point to sit with your family and just tell them what you're doing. You're working out your priorities. You're working out how much time you have to do each thing. The job requires this much. I need time for me, and I need time with you. So let's talk about, what do you need from me? What do you want from me? And just negotiate it. Talk about it. You're not going to be able to do everything they want, but you're going to be able to do the important things. And you're beginning to prioritize your family, and they're going to love it. So let them have feedback. It's really going to encourage them to see you sitting down with them and explaining what you're trying to do with your life and telling them how valuable they are and important they are, and you want to invest time with them doing the right things. They're going to love that. It makes them feel important. So I think you're on to a right start. Now, the priorities are set. You're on track. Now you need to learn to listen. You're going to get clues that you're not giving enough time, and you have to hear it and respond. So first, listen to yourself. When you're starting to feel empty and drained and unfulfilled, you need to look at that and realize that is a clue. Something's wrong. And you need to break away and start giving time for what you need. Don't neglect yourself. You will suffer, and the people around you will suffer. So give yourself time. And the idea of feeling empty and drained and stressed and unfulfilled are indicators you need to spend more time working on you. To the family, listen to them. When they start saying things like, oh man, we never see you. Oh no, are you going to work again? And you're missing all my games. You missed my recital. Your spouse is saying, hey, we never get to do anything, just us. Hear that. Don't get defensive. Don't lash out at them or get angry. Just take a minute and then agree. You are right. Let's schedule something. You know it's happening. You feel the pressure. You know that you're not giving them enough time, and you've given them permission to remind you. And that's all you have to do. You're right. Let's schedule something. You don't need to get into some long speech. It's just people, relationships need time, and they need talk. Time and talk will build trust. So you want to make sure you're giving them the time they need, and you're talking with them and to them. And when you give this special time to your family and yourself, you're doing the best thing, because you and your family will be with you the longest of anything. And they can make you a better person. Prioritizing yourself will make you a better person. The family can be a launching pad to send you out into the world every day to do your job and do what you do. It can be a welcoming place when you come home at night if you're giving them the time they need. Cheating is simply not giving people what they need. And it's going to cause hurt and bitterness if it's allowed to go on. So prioritize. Figure out what needs to be done and give the time to see that happens. Maybe a better question is, who won't you cheat today? Don't let it be yourself. Don't let it be your family. Hey, thanks so much for listening. Hope this was helpful. Maybe it sparked you to think about your family and the special dynamics and how to prioritize and how to give the time necessary to do the things that are necessary to make your home a better place and make you a better person. Click like if you like it. Subscribe if you haven't, if you're into subscribing to things, and share it with somebody if that'll help them if they're not listening to these. And until next time, take care of yourself.